Hey, everybody, welcome to the SC.Y podcast, episode number 292. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Follow me at the SC.Y on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts, and also check out the SC.Y on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And without any further ado, let's get shit started with episode number 292, Gazing the Heir Apparent, Tempering the Lofty Hopes, and Fortitude. Afternoon Rambles. As of course, boys and girls, we are going to be discussing the World Series to start off this podcast. And I got to tell you, man, Fox's pregame and postgame show is pretty goddamn entertaining. Now, I know we all collectively don't really like A-Rod, right? But he's a pretty damn good baseball analyst. I catch myself just watching him talking, thinking, no, he's making a pretty damn good point. And you don't really have to like the guy to agree with his points. So with A-Rod being there, you of course have to balance it out with David Ortiz, Big Papi. And holy shit, Big Papi is entertaining as all hell. And I can hear both the respective Red Sox and Yankees fan brigade just screaming into their screens right now. Steroids! 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 Calm down, motherfucker. All right, I understand that both of these players had steroid issues, but without getting too into it, all right, when you observe the general landscape and context of Major League Baseball during when these two players were active, it was pretty disgusting how prevalent the use of steroids was. Let's be fair about that shit, right? So, brushing that away, because I don't give a shit about that, because I'm watching these pre-game and post-game shows to be entertained before and after the goddamn game. Do you understand the whole fucking point of these shows, right? Right? Rocket science. But there's one segment of these pre-game and post-game shows that I started noticing very curious trends with. And, if you want to put the tinfoil hat, that's totally fine. And if you want to put on the cynical hat too, saying, oh, this is all part of the fucking show, it's all scripted, of course, sure. That could totally happen. But hear me out on this shit. So Big Papi, with his 4-0 streak with his picks now, has called himself Nostradamus Ortiz. Now, here's the curious part. Because this whole segment started during Game 7 of the NLCS when Big Papi put his picks, his pick of the game winner into an envelope. And he said, all right, I'm not going to reveal it. Let's just reveal this shit after the show. Turns out, Game 7 of the NLCS, he picked the Dodgers to win. And he has been 4-0 since then. So in my mind, in my irrational fanboy mind, I'm thinking, Big Papi knows. Big Papi is going to fucking guide the Dodgers to the glory land. Nah, of course, no shit. It's all the players on the goddamn field doing that shit. But I just found it vastly entertaining. And Big Papi deserves to be on TV because this man is entertaining as all hell. I cannot stop watching Big Papi just talk nonstop shit and then also provide some goddamn great analysis. And hey, Fox, you're doing it right with Major League Baseball right now with the presentation and shit. But can I ask you something, Fox? Can I be real with you? Can you fucking get rid of Joe Buck and John Smoltz as the goddamn World Series commentators? They are absolutely unbearable to listen to. The most opinionated cunts that absolutely do not capture the glory of the game. It's the most bland, boring shit you can listen to. And half the time, I catch myself just muting the goddamn TV. Because I don't want to hear Joe Buck. And yeah, we go. Like, well, listening to a fucking geese. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. But here's the thing. If your team is in the World Series, I mean, you can mute the goddamn game and still enjoy the hell out of it because your team is in the goddamn World Series. And for the Dodgers, after the series was tied 1-1 after Game 2, they come out in Game 3 and they just decimated the Rays. And there's one thing that I loved about this Game 3. If it's just a one thing, it's Walker Buehler. I mean, Walker Buehler, Texas Ranger. This man is just doing it all. I mean, he comes in and, you know, as much as Big Papi kind of was boisterous about his Nostradamus status, he isn't the only fucking one that has the gifts of foresight at times. Your boy did say on the podcast last episode, remember, I did say on this podcast that if Walker Buehler can give us 6 to 7 innings with 10 strikeouts and 1 earned run, I would be a happy camper. And sure enough, he delivers 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 1 earned run, and had an immaculate game because the offense was there to help him out. Walker was just absolutely brilliant last night. And you know he's the heir apparent. We're not stupid. We're not fucking stupid, right, kids? Because as great as Kershaw is, and we all know the Dodgers have been blessed with great pitchers. I mean, Sandy Koufax, or Oral Hershiser, Ken Drysdale. I mean, Clayton Kershaw, obviously, but we know Kershaw's time is slowly but surely slowing down. Not coming to an end, but slowing down. And you have Walker just on the rise right now. And his postseason ERA and all that shit, they're showing this up on Fox. And, obviously with ERAs, when you talk to the advanced stat dudes, they tell you, listen, take that shit with a grain of salt. There's all these other fucking parameters and context that you have to put into. But when you're just watching the game itself, set all the stats aside, Walker was in full fucking control of the mound last night. And, the 1 earned run, I will say at times fielding is a bit of an issue for the Dodgers. I mean, we've seen that in game 2. But Walker Buehler had a fantastic outing. And I said, right before game 1 that game 3 is going to be a pivotal game for either team. And whoever comes out of that game, I feel wins the series. And I believe they were saying it on television last night that if a team after tied 1-1 and goes up 2-1, the likelihood of them winning the entire series is over 60%. So hopefully the Dodgers can capitalize on this momentum. Although the Rays didn't completely die out last night. Despite the 6-2 scoreline, they didn't completely die out because you had Ji-Man, all right, Ji-Man Choi, as everyone else says, just becoming a human highlight reel last night. Good Lord. This guy, acrobatic, majestic as fuck, does the split to get one out. He does the fucking Mario hops to get one out. And there was an unfortunate bit of, I believe, an RBI or a run scored on him, or I believe a RBI double, because the ball just barely bounced off the tip of his glove. So a lot of people might just notice that and how the Dodgers, stacked on momentum and et cetera, et cetera. But man, Ji-Man Choi was on fucking fire. Ji-Man, Korean man extraordinaire, first Korean ever in the World Series. He's playing great. And despite the loss, I think he's playing with a lot of fire, as with a lot of these guys in the Rays, man. And I appreciate that effort. And the one thing that really caught me off guard yesterday watching Game 3 was I want to say Kiersmeyer. Is that right? Is that his name? Kiersmeyer? Could be wrong. I apologize if I am completely butchering the dude's name. But they had him mic'd up. And before he went up to bat, he went to his son and said, I'm going to go swing, and, kisses his son. I'm thinking, oh, man, come on, man. I'm supposed to not like you. You're supposed to be my enemy. Don't show me sweet shit. Get out of here. But I thought that was a nice little moment there. And another nice moment for the Rays was Randy Arozarena scoring his 8th home run of the postseason. And he goes ahead and surpasses Derek Jeter. Yes, Derek Jeter for the single most postseason home runs in a rookie season. Wow. Just wow. 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 Randy Arozarena has been looking like he wanted to fucking swing at something. And in that bottom of the ninth inning, for him to get that home run, I felt good for him. I felt a little uneasy for the Dodgers, and I felt certainly horrible for Kenley Jansen, who at that point with 2 outs was pitching fantastic. I mean, it was a full count, and you would think, maybe Kenley gets this done, but it's just an unfortunate bit on that full count to get the home run scored on. But I thought Kenley had a pretty great ninth inning yesterday. And all things considered, the Dodgers have to be feeling really good about themselves because you have Game 4, Julio Urias about to be our starting pitcher. This man has been on fucking fire, and you're telling him to go start Game 4, potentially putting you up in this series substantially. I mean, 3-1 is no big fucking joke, although you have to raise bullpen, which, I mean, you would think, bullpen game, whatever, but the Rays bullpen is pretty fucking good. So the Dodgers have to be ready to fucking hit those goddamn balls. So we have to capitalize on a game like this because getting the series tied is going to be a fucking problem. And so hopefully the Dodgers understand what's at stake here tonight and goes ahead and takes the series up 3-1. That is the deal. That is the thing that we have to do. Mamba mentality, baby. Keep pushing. Job's not finished. 2 more wins, boys. Let's go. 2 more fucking wins, boys. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Woo. Them Dodgers, man. Them Dodgers. And you know, the thing is, because the whole contract and contract rights with Spectrum for the Dodgers, I don't really get to see them a lot through the regular season. Although, I mean, we live in a great future where we could just double check on stats and all this shit. But boy, I'll tell you, it's these contracts and all this other bullshit that has given the rise to these stream services, right? But even then, I mean, stream services are now reaching that level of bullshit that cable and all that is going through. I mean, whether it be Netflix, Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, fucking HBO Max, Peacock, Apple TV. Oh, good Lord. I'll even put fucking Red Zone and Game Pass on there. It's all these a la carte stream services that you think, no, they're supposed to help us cut cords and save bills. But in reality, they do none of that shit. Essentially, within a straight up year or two, the cost is essentially the same. It just kind of rises up. And it just annoys me to all hell because I don't really get to enjoy, maybe region specific teams like the Seahawks and the fucking Dodgers and Arsenal Football Club. I mean, the way NBC has really chopped up their fucking stream service, it's laughable at best. And honestly, with what Arsenal and a lot of the top club, quote unquote, top clubs in England is doing, it's disgusting. So I say just give us all the fucking shit in one package, bro. Why the fuck are you doing all these goddamn services with, perks and shit if you pay more? Like, you are literally becoming cable. Like, you are nothing but cable, but without the hard wire shit and contracts. Bullshit. It's still the same fucking cost. It's so goddamn retarded. But here we are, talking about how cord cutting is the best fucking thing. Dude, cord cutting fucking sucks. Cable sucks too. You just need to figure out a way to bundle all that shit into one fucking thing. And that's it. God damn. Or do it buffet style. I get to pick and choose where the fuck I want and pay a flat price. How about that shit? Huh? Oh yeah, because if that happens, you know what happens? Shows like channels like the fucking Oxygen network, Lifetime, other garbage fucking networks, probably like what's that goddamn shit, like National Geographic, I guess. No one really watches that shit anymore, right? Or do they? I don't even fucking know. A lot of these shows will die. Like, a lot of these stations would die. because nobody would watch them. Because the majority of those pick and chooses will be sports. Yeah. It's insane. All this goddamn crap ass stream service. And thank God. Again, I'm so glad we live in this future where we can contextualize data and just read the raw stats ourselves. Obviously, you could have done that in the past, but it's a lot harder to do it back then compared to 2020. I mean, we could just rewind back then to like 1998. And that shit's even difficult to pull up data, even with the internet back then. Now it's just at the fucking palm of your fingers. You could check up Randy Arozarena's fucking stats all throughout the postseason. Right there. You can contextualize data. You can read that shit for yourself. And it's brilliant. So fuck stream services. You got to figure this shit out. But I ain't gonna lie, man. I love sports ball too much to give up cable or separate stream services, although ESPN Plus, Peacock, DAZN, all of those fucking stream services go suck my dick for all I care. But I still enjoy sports because the live events are great. You know, reading number stats, they're great. So fuck stream services and fuck the goddamn TV contracts, man. Because sports will always be sports. And the one thing that I notice that I like doing is, even if it's not my team in whatever respect to sports, I still like watching the action go on. And I noticed when I was doing this a little bit earlier in the morning, watching Manchester United versus Chelsea in the Premier League, I noticed there's a couple of players there I like, despite the badge, you know, the fucking club, the two clubs that I obviously hate. But this got me to thinking a little bit about the woke league of Chinese basketball. Obviously, boys and girls, we are in the off season. We're still waiting kind of on tentative dates as to when the NBA can kind of kickstart off again. So within the meantime, I figured, you know what? I want a list of players that I do like on other squads. Kind of like how I did with the NHL players list. Each division, each team, a player currently right now that I really do like. And I figured, you know what? I want to kind of do that with basketball because we're just kind of on a lull day in sports right now. I don't really watch college football, so not really much content to talk about there. Apologize, boys and girls, but I don't really find that shit all that appealing. It's really when they go to the NFL that shit catches my eye. And maybe it also has to do with the fact that UNLV sucks ass. It really might be that UNLV just sucks in all fucking sporting department. But yet the running Rebels was in the fucking 90s, bro. UNLV basketball sucks right now. We are ass, and they're coming back today. Oh, no way. That's football. Son of a bitch. San Diego State today. But my point being, UNLV sucks. So college football, college basketball doesn't really compute in my mind. But within the realm of basketball in the NBA, there are young players and players I just generally like without, team attachment. And I want to go ahead and read these off. And we'll start for the East and do it division by division. So within the Eastern Conference and the Atlantic Division, the Toronto Raptors, Freddie VanVleet. This guy, white chocolate, one of my favorite fucking players in the Toronto Raptors. I could also give a shout out to OG1 Anunoby. Fantastic fucking player too. We didn't really get to see a lot of him during the championship run for the Raptors, but last season we really got to see what this kid is made of. And Freddie VanVleet is a very consistent point guard / shooting guard, versatile guard that you can use wherever. And so, my favorite player there, Freddie VanVleet. In the Boston Celtics, yes, I am a Lakers fan. We're supposed to hate the Boston Celtics, but there is one player that I would actively cheer for, and that's Jason Tatum. Yes. When he wears that green, it just kind of makes me sick and irk a little bit. But he has such a Kobe-esque game to him that I've been really attached to watching this kid's game since he first debuted in the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas. And watching him develop to where he is now, it's pretty incredible to watch Jason Tatum just become the face of the franchise and an all-around all-star. So kudos to him. And hopefully the Celtics don't win anything. Lakers fan. Yeah, I don't apologize for that shit. Now, within the Philadelphia 76ers, a team that I dreadfully cannot bring myself to like or compliment. The only player that I can say I can kind of tolerate is Tobias Harris. Maybe Al Horford, but no, Al Horford's game is pretty fucking weak and all around. He is a dying center. But Tobias Harris, good scorer, decent enough player all around. Because you're not going to tell me that Ben Simmons and Embiid are great players on this fucking team. Embiid is a goddamn glass cannon, and Ben Simmons is a glorified point guard that can't shoot. Yeah, so tell me something about that shit, right? But let's move on. Brooklyn Nets, Karis LeVert. Really like watching this guy play too. Even before the parasitic cancers known as Kyrie and KD went into Brooklyn, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, Spencer Dinwiddie were lighting it up by themselves. Of course, they weren't world beaters, but they were playing some pretty exciting basketball at times. And I'd like to think Karis LeVert goes to a better team because you already know Kyrie and KD are going to make that goddamn team a cesspool of cancer. You know that shit. I know that shit. Not future reading. It's just generalizing based on past behavior and certain things that have repeatedly happened. That's just observation, baby. And one observation that we all know is that the New York Knicks are ass. They're ass. They're trash. But one player that I do like within the trash heap is RJ Barrett. I think this is a good player. I think this is a dude that can, in a good team, develop. But in the Knicks, just hold on, man. Hold on, RJ. Bear through it. You'll be on a real team in 2-3 years. I could see it. Now, let's move on to the Central Division. In the Milwaukee Bucks, I got Giannis Antetokounmpo. No surprise there. I would always tell you, back-to-back MVP, wholly deserved it, but he definitely needs a 1B or 1A in the postseason. He really does. And I know if you hear 1A, you're thinking, oh, but Giannis is the best dude. He isn't good enough in the postseason. And when I say 1B or 1A, it really is a situational thing where obviously Giannis is an amazing player. But in those postseason moments, you need to have a 1A because he just completely flips to a 1B. And you can't have that to win a championship. And so let's move on to the next team, the Indiana Pacers. I got Miles Turner, man. I think he's just a solid center. I mean, not really much to talk about. Obviously, you got guys like Sabonis, Oladipo in there, but I find myself more gravitating towards Miles Turner. And Miles Turner should come to the Lakers. Although that would be more of a trade. I don't think he's a free agent, so bit curious on that. Although, I mean, if he is a free agent next summer, they should fucking come to the goddamn Lakers. Join up with goddamn AD. Be a fun time. I'd actually love that fucking style of basketball. Two fucking big-ass dudes just clogging up the fucking paint there. Ooh-wee. That should be fun. But what's also fun is watching this player in the Chicago Bulls, Lauri Markkanen. Can you motherfuckers get him a real coach, please? Can you stop stifling this kid's development and growth, please? Lauri Markkanen has potential to be a real special player, but here Chicago is, every year, sucking ass. Like, oh, we want to be the Knicks. What? Why? Why? Do you want to suck? All right. Fun times. You incompetent fucks. But moving on to the Detroit Pistons, S.C.Y Mykhailiuk, man. I know a lot of people don't really know S.C.Y Mykhailiuk unless you're a Pistons fan, but hey, S.C.Y Mykhailiuk, for me, again, a lot of these players, a lot of the young players are former Lakers player. There you go. I've seen them through the come up in the summer league, and I have grown an emotional attachment to them. And, to see them just thrive or just kind of low-key be in another team, I find it very interesting. And I think S.C.Y Mykhailiuk can potentially grow into a solid third, fourth option in the Pistons, shooting threes, getting his own baskets, but he needs time to develop. And so, for me, S.C.Y Mykhailiuk, shout out to you, my dude. I hope you do well. But there's one cat in the bottom of, I guess Lake Erie over there in Cleveland, where the Cavaliers also is there with him. But Larry Nance Jr., only guy I feel is rising up in that team. And yeah, you got all those young players, all that garbage with Kevin Love, but no, fuck that. It's all about Larry Nance Jr. Shout out to my boy Larry. dude is just any goddamn locker room he goes. I think he's just a fantastic locker room presence and all around a great player that could just give you a good amount of points, defense, get the goddamn boards, and hey, once or twice a season he'll have a goddamn slam dunk highlight reel, and it is a beautiful thing to watch. So shout out to my boy Larry. Now in the Southeast Division, let's start with the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler, no questions there. I mean, what more can you say? This man should have been the finals MVP in a losing effort, a la Jerry West. But of course, LeBron absolutely deserved the finals MVP in that sense. But no, if you can tell me that, hey, you can also have a losing finals MVP, you put Jimmy Bucket right there, right fucking there. And for him to go from that kind of overlooked draft pick to where he is now as a grit, focused superstar that, yeah, the talent level might not be there compared to maybe a guy like Steph, LeBron, but man, that heart, mentality, focus, that aspect alone can have him competing with the best of the best in the game. And we've seen it all throughout the postseason. And I can't fucking wait to see that Miami Heat team grow and develop under Jimmy Butler's tutelage. And Pat Riley, you found yourself a real one, man. You really found yourself a face of the franchise to, carry you forward for the next 5 years, I guess. And you're going to be a fun team to watch overall. So best of luck to the Miami Heat. Now, the Orlando Magic, Nikola Vucevic. Serbian badass motherfucker. Got to shout him out. Of course. Now, the Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges, I guess. I just hope Michael Jordan doesn't fuck up this kid's career, but MJ has a pretty prolific track record of being a horrible fucking basketball executive. But no one's going to talk about that, right? Because everyone's too busy sucking off Michael Jordan's basketball playing career. No one's actually looking into what the Charlotte Hornets are doing. Shooting themselves in the fucking foot. Lordy, MJ. You suck ass as an executive. And no one has the balls to tell you that shit because they're all fucking pussies. But while I moved my fucking camera there like a goddamn idiot, swatting my headphone away, boys and girls, let's talk about the Washington Wizards and how Moritz Wagner is my favorite player on the Wizards. Yeah, I know Rui Hachimura, fucking Bradley Beal is on that squad. So is Kelly Oubre. No, for me, it's Moritz Wagner. I am so bummed out. Guys like Svi Mikhailuk, Moritz Wagner, hell, for that matter, Isaac Bonga, Thomas Bryant, Ivica Zubac. I hate the fact that all those young guys had to be traded to make cap space for the Lakers. And essentially, they could have still been kept around. When you compare the talents to guys like Danny Green. Yeah. So that is fucking annoying. But Moritz Wagner, I love his energy. I love his vibe. And, he might not be the best player on the court, but he could be a fantastic cleanup guy if you develop him into that role. Very Draymond-esque if you want to build him to that role. Pest, but can get you the rebound, can get your energy up, can be like that bulldog on the team. And I really hope Moritz gets a lot of turn and a lot of time because that's my favorite German in the National Basketball League or Basketball League. Oh, fuck that. It's the woke league of Chinese basketball, you fucking idiot. Sometimes, boys and girls, my brain farts because I'm a goddamn idiot. And it happens. But hopefully for the Wizards, that shit doesn't happen. I'll Ernie Grunfeld. Because you remember how that whole situation went? Right. Don't mention that, right? Don't mention that. But the Atlanta Hawks, Vince Carter. Yeah, I know he's retired. I know he's not there. And technically, if you put a fucking gun to my head, I'd tell you DeAndre Hunter. But no, it's always Vince. You can't fucking tell me I can't pick Vince. Vince is always going to be Vince. Vinsanity will be forever. Vince Carter is one of the last remaining pieces of my basketball childhood, and I guess he's technically fully retired now, but oh boy. I mean, on the roster for the Atlanta Hawks website, you still have Vince Carter's name. So I'm picking Vince Carter. Fuck you. I'm picking Vince Carter because your team sucks, Hawks. What do you want me to pick? Clint Capella? Trae Young is like B-tier guard. Sorry, but he's mediocre. He's gonna be mediocre as all hell. But yeah. Keep telling me that he's fucking Steph Jr. Stupid as fuck. But with that salt, let's move on into the Western Conference. And within the Northwest Division, Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, my new best friend. Of course, he's my favorite player over there in the Nuggets. Hell yeah. You think it is Jamal Murray, the fucking pubic hair cunt? Fuck off. Fuck off. Why don't you go get head from your goddamn whore, you goddamn piece of shit. I don't know. I don't really like Jamal Murray. I'm all about Nikola Jokic, though. That man's a beast. But within the OKC Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I would put CP3 on here, but I really think with what Shai is doing and what he could potentially do, he is going to anchor this OKC franchise, and you should really thank the Clippers for giving you your future for the next decade. For real. I mean, that entire package for fucking Pandemic P was quite possibly the greatest thing that could have happened for the Thunder. But there you go. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, fantastic player over there for the OKC Thunder. For the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell. Dude, Spider-Man is carrying this fucking team. Kind of like how, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was doing that shit in Spider-Man 2. Dragging that motherfucking train. But that's what Donovan Mitchell is doing right now. And he's been doing that for about 2 years. He is Corona Rudy, bongo drumming that shit. He ain't gonna help you out. Not in the clutch. Get rid of his stupid ass and get a real fucking player in there. Oh, yep. Because Joe Ingles isn't gonna fucking get that shit done, bitch. But let's move on to the Portland Trailblazers. You got Yusuf Nurkic. Yep. Because I think if the Portland Trailblazers are fucking smart, you build around this guy and not the two fucking thunder twats in the CJ McCollum and Dame project where, for half a decade you've already failed. Why don't you fucking move on already? So for me, it's Yusuf Nurkic. And then for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Jarrett Culver. Wow. I didn't understand who this kid was, but while writing this episode, doing some research and watching some highlight reels and one specific defensive highlight reel tape all throughout his rookie season in the 2019-2020 season, I was stunned how good this kid was. Jarrett Culver, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you this right now. Jarrett Culver might be one of the best two-way players in about 2-3 seasons. Give him time to develop. He might be one of the better fucking defenders, better two-way players all around in the next 2 seasons. This kid is that good. His rookie years, he is bodying up Giannis Antetokounmpo, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard. So that tells you all you need to fucking know about that kid. Absolutely fantastic. But let's move on to the Pacific Division. I got the Lakers, AD, of course, AD. But, shout out to my Summer League boys from the come up, Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma, but it's AD. It's AD. Of course it is. With the Clippers, if there's one player, it's Ivica Zubac, because in my mind, he's not really a dick. He's just the victim of a really fucking bad trade the Lakers made for Reggie Bullock. Really? Was it Reggie Bullock or one of those fucking assholes that we got no value for? Ridiculous. Or was it Mike Muscala, one of those assholes? But the Ivica Zubac trade was an absolute disaster, and I miss that kid very much. I miss you, kiddo. But you're with the Clippers now, so fuck off. Now, with the Phoenix Suns, Ricky Rubio. Stop pestering me. I know Devin Booker is good, but Ricky Rubio, all around best point guard in the league. Pure point guards, not the fucking, Damian Lillard, all 50, 40 fucking goddamn point guard. I'm talking about like giving you 15, 14 points a game, an array of assists, and just all around great spacing, great defensive presence too, if necessary. I got Ricky Rubio from the Phoenix Suns. Now, the Sacramento Kings, Bogdan Bogdanovic, the man who has ripped my fucking heart as a Lakers fan so many goddamn times throughout the years, but he is the best overall player in the Kings, and he is one of my he was one of my better players to watch over there in the Kings. Not De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, you're not it, man. What are you, like? Discount Steph? Is that what you are? Or discount Westbrook? Probably. But within the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson. Hot and cold aside, this guy is amazing on the offensive end, and then back with some good defense, he really makes that Warriors team click. And so for me, I got Klay Thompson as one of the players that I like over there in the Warriors. Now, finally, within the Southwest Division, you have the Houston Rockets, and I got to go with Russell Westbrook because, I understand that Russell Westbrook isn't going to win a ring unless he becomes like a sixth man, but I still love his game. I still love his aggression. I love his passion with what he does. And in my eyes, I always see that 2017 MVP Russ, and I've always been a fan. So I hope Russ does well. But the Dallas Mavericks, come on, bro. Luka Doncic. No shit. Luka's my fucking favorite player outside the goddamn Lakers. Luka, of course. Luka Doncic. The next one. Come on. He's gonna rule the NBA for a decade. That's Luka Doncic's next. That's his next line. Okay. Luka's gonna be the fucking empire of the goddamn NBA. Period. Let's move on to the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant. Love the dude. Fully deserved Rookie of the Year, and he was absolutely fantastic before the bubble restart, and I hope the regular season ebbs and flow gets them growing. And also shout out to Brandon Clark, absolutely fantastic young duo over there, and the Grizzlies are going to be a fun team to watch grow. As for the San Antonio Spurs, I got Patty Mills, man. Yeah, I don't know. He's not terrible. I feel like he's the only decent, consistent player over there in the goddamn Spurs. No disrespect to DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, but give me some Patty Mills any day of the goddamn week. Now, finally, the New Orleans Pelicans, Brandon Ingram. Dude, you have no idea how happy I am for Brandon Ingram getting the most improved player of the year. Because, was he the most improved player of the year? I could be off on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Brandon Ingram, watching him being drafted number 2 overall as a Laker after Kobe retired to where he is now, all-star caliber player, he will give you, anywhere from fucking 25 to 30 points a game on pretty damn good efficiency. And man, watching this kid grow is fantastic. And I hope he finds success no matter where, whether it be the Pelicans, whether it be somewhere else. I'm all for you, B.I. I still got your number 14 Christmas edition Lakers jersey, white with purple fucking font, and I rock that shit any time of the day if I need to because B.I.'s my boy. But ultimately, kids, it's all for the energy of baseball. Game 4 in the World Series, right? So baseball gods, please help a brother out today. On the next episode of the Sky Lounge, we might do a bit of an untitled rant, so be tuned in for that shit. All right, motherfuckers. I appreciate you dropping by this episode. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts, and also check out the Sky Lounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Till next time, kids. Fuck off.